What is going on, everybody? For those who don't know, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. I got a special guest with me. The name's very close, but it's definitely different. We got Joe from the Philly, the podcast. But go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit further. Let them know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
Yes, sir. I go by Joe Castro, Philly Fresco. And yeah, Philly, the podcast. Look, I was about to say Philly Talk podcast, but yeah, Philly, the podcast. Yeah, come over, come check us out. I'm trying to do, daily content. Big shout out to my boy, Philly Talk podcast and Philly Mike, man, for having me on. I appreciate it. Been a fan for a while, so it's cool to be on the other side for once.
Hey, yeah. Like I said, there's a handful of new up and coming content creators. For a couple different teams, but we know the Philly got the best content creators, and they keep growing. He hasn't been doing it long, over 500 subs. Let me just be the first to say he got 500 subs quicker than I did. So shout out to you, my guy.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so like I said, we got an impactful week. Normally, it's only Tuesday. So normally I'm getting my film study out, which actually Philly the podcast did drop one, a very good one. It was about the sacks, the 6 sacks that we allowed, and Jamon Brown just flopping all over the place.
The ugly, it was very hard to watch. I'll say that, but I did it for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But no, like I said, everybody had their bad parts. You know what I'm saying? But Jamon Brown looked like he was lost. It was bad to watch. So definitely go check that out. Definitely
go check that out. And I will be dropping a little mixture tomorrow. I'll be doing my preview for the Eagles versus the Giants Thursday night football game, while I kind of break down some of the Giants plays, some of the Eagles plays. It won't be that in depth because I want to get both of them in there. And listen, the Giants are coming off their first win. We're coming off a tough loss against a Super Bowl contender, which really had us out of our element. But somehow, some way, more key players go down. We're talking about Zach Ertz goes down, Miles Sanders goes down, and Carson Wentz turns on the comeback kid and brought us all the way back. And listen, I was able to sleep on it a couple times. I still do not understand Doug Pederson's call there. And look, I don't want people to jump to the conclusion. I have my guy DJ Eastman on here. We talked off air and on air. Listen, I'm very disappointed in Doug, but by no means am I calling for his job at this point. This is my thing with Doug Pederson. I do believe he calls plays good throughout the game. My biggest issue with him is his situational play calling and football understanding, because there's plays when you go back and watch the all 22, there's route concepts where like, wow. I mean, yes, we don't got the best receivers, but we're putting them in a position to succeed as long as our guy got time in the pocket, Jamon Brown. But yeah, there's plays that he calls in certain situations that are good, great. It'll be good play, huh? So he comes out with a bunch of hunts. He doesn't set it up right. And in the situations where we need it the most, he's getting iffy. Used to be go for it on Doug. Then he's conservative Doug. Then he's back to go for it Doug. And that RPO. And for him to come on WIP and simply say, I kind of ran out of plays and should have called timeout, that's just too much. It's that he can handle the preparation. He can handle that stuff. But when we get into the must need, can he get it done there? And that's where I'm starting to question Doug. And with all the Frank Reich lovers, I agree. He did that for Doug, but Doug still called plays in the 2017-18 season. How you feel about that?
Honestly, listen, it's been, 3 seasons now since the Super Bowl, 2 seasons now since the Super Bowl. We've given him a pass. We've given a lot of people on this team a pass. Because of that Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Now this is the year where we start really seeing what heads are going to roll. Because, look, if Howie has as much say as they're saying, it might not be all on our coaches. I do like you said, I love some of the calls that Doug has. If you look at some of the plays, even against the Ravens, a lot of those sacks that we had, there were people running wide open. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely does have the gift of getting people open. Our execution isn't all the way there. It's very hard to really analyze this team And I say that because, like like everyone knows, we are very injured. You know what I'm saying? We haven't been able to put the same team out there for 2 or 3 weeks in a row. So, and sometimes play calling is very personnel driven. So, with the change in personnel and all that, I'm not giving Doug a pass. I think he does have to get more creative, but I do know that he has it in him. You know what I'm saying? So I think with the people that are there, we have enough chefs in that kitchen to come up with a good enough recipe. You know what I'm saying? And and everybody has a little bit of say in there. If everybody brings ingredients, I think that can kind of make up for what we're missing in Frank Wright. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree. I just think there got to be a guy that Doug kind of relies on. Again, when I look at that situation, I believe that Doug didn't have much influence with bringing in Marty Mornway and that Rich Scandronello guy. I believe it was the tension was already built up because Howie got rid of his guys in Carson Walsh and Mike Groh. And so the tension got there. Doug used his power in the sense of, well, I'm going to call plays and not have an OC, where he called plays but he had a backup guy, someone he can trust, someone who can see things with a different perspective. And it did influence Doug and made Doug better and made Doug great in that season. I'm telling you, you're seeing the deficiencies in just having that guy that Doug can be like, yo, what should we do? All right, you're right. I kind of agree. Or, yo, you're doing too much of this. Let me show you this. Something along them lines. Now, I believe how he put these guys here in place so Doug doesn't trust and feel comfortable with the Marty Morningways and the Rich, because it was a Howie doing to try to minimize Doug. And I think it's just too much tug and war. If you have friction in your front offense, it's going to show on the field. And the best way it shows on the field is one word: inconsistency. And that's what we see from the Philadelphia Eagles. What we saw late against the Steelers and late against the Ravens were the good parts of the Philadelphia Eagles with a boatload of injuries. But real quick, let me address my guy, Jameer McNeil. Philly Mike said he wanted Mims over Jefferson, shaking my head. Here's the thing. I got all my videos up still. Go back and watch it. The first couple draft videos I did, I wanted Justin Jefferson. Then I started saying, depending on what goes on, Mims, Jefferson, I like both their games. I slightly are giving the edge to Mims, but I love me some Jefferson. Go back and watch that video. That's the video. It was on April Fool's, actually. I said I quit YouTube. I was just kidding. Because obviously I'm still here. But yeah, so again, Mims then went ahead and disrespected the city of Philadelphia and all that good stuff. So he's just cut whatever. And of course he's injured, so we don't get to see what he can do. And most likely his career is down the drains.
Yeah, you go to the Jets. Yeah, you go to the Jets. That's instant karma right there.
That's instant karma. But a couple questions in here talking about Boston Scott. You heard Doug Pederson say he's going to try to run with Boston Scott, Corey Clement, possibly bring up AK-46 and or use Jason Huntley in a running back by committee. What's your take on that?
I don't understand why we want to bring up more speed. Like, as far as Boston Scott goes, I need to see last year Boston Scott, like the end of year Boston Scott. I don't know what happened to that one. As far as Corey Clement goes, we need to see 2017. I don't know what Corey Clement we need to see, but he needs to get it together. He's been very disappointing, unfortunately. I think they can make something happen. I don't really want to see AK-40. I know I'm probably going to be in the minority on this one, but I don't really want to see Huntley or Killens. I would rather see someone like Elijah Holyfield, someone like Mike Warren, someone that's going to give you something different, someone that you haven't seen. Look at that. Bring up Holyfield. Yeah. Someone that you haven't seen on the roster already. I mean, look, we wouldn't have brought up Travis Fulgham if we wouldn't have had to. You know what I'm saying? So it comes down to, I'm not saying the season's over. I'm just saying you're in a certain situation that you can bring up players and see what you have and still have a chance to win these games. So I think that's what they should do. See if these guys want to play. I would rather see Mike Warren or something like that. The thing that most worries me about our running back core being what it is right now, to be honest, is that they cannot block. We do not have an offensive line right now. So you basically took out two more blockers when Zach Ertz and Miles Sanders got hurt. You just took out two more blockers. So that's, to be honest, probably the thing that I'm most worried about right now. And that's why I also say bring up a big back.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the Holyfield train. I was a Michael Warren guy because I love his size and his feet. Deuce was and spoke highly of his feet, and he's
Mhm.
very nimble for a big guy. But for those who don't know, our guy Michael Warren Jr. just got signed to the Panthers practice squad. I don't know how they
Oh,
did
did I
it.
miss that?
Um,
Okay.
I think there's like a time period where they can take them off and stuff like that if you don't save. I think you got like 2 or 3 guys or blah 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 blah. I'm not with all that at this point. But yeah, I did hear Mike K say that Michael Warren is signing with the Carolina's practice squad, and we saw Rasul Douglas go to Carolina and come up a little bit. We'll see what goes on there. But yeah, Holyfield was a guy that Doug Pederson liked in college. When he was a Georgia Bulldog, Doug Pederson actually went and scouted him, liked him, but realized we didn't have to take him in a draft. We end up taking Miles Sanders that draft in the second round. We also took J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. But later in that draft, we realized he was falling. We knew we could get this guy in the later rounds. He ended up getting picked up by the Panthers as an undrafted free agent. Didn't work out. And it is a Xander Holyfield's son. So, a guy who can throw down in the ring, at
That's
least
what I'm saying.
coming with some heart.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, to your point, he does have beautiful footwork, and he ran like a 4.5 40 or something like that, and that's what really kind of took him out of the draft at the time. But I kind of want to ask you a question, if you don't mind me. I'm asking. I want to know, what is Duce's involvement right now, because I feel like if anybody, he should be the one going crazy. You know what I'm saying? That they're not running the ball. Your Jamon Brown clips have killed me, bro. They killed me too. Trust me, they killed me too. But yeah, now I want to know, like, what's going on with Duce, because I feel like he gets a different title every year, but he doesn't really have much say.
Nah. Listen, I love me some Deuce, and I would love to see him get actually acclimated, promoted the right way in this team, in this organization, and actually be able to do something. But yeah, I mean, eventually it's probably going to be the thing that drives him out of Philly, because someone's going to really offer him something. But right now, he's the running back coach, assistant coach, so he might have certain say with Doug, or Doug might let him feel like he has certain say. But when it comes to the running backs, Duce Staley really only picks the rotation. So
Mm-hmm.
he gets to say, okay, I'm gonna give say we run the ball 25 times. I want Miles to get 13. I want this guy to get 7, and I want this guy to get 6. And with Doug not running the ball, he only has a limited time he could even make that.
Facts.
And I actually feel like the rotation hasn't really been that good since that 2017 Super Bowl run, where he had Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount, and Corey Clement. And I believe he put these guys in at the exact time they needed to be in and got the job done. And I'm saying that because when we opened up last year, we had Darren Sproles on the roster. We had just acquired Jordan Howard to the roster, and Miles Sanders was the rookie. I remember the very first game against Washington, the first running back to trot out on the field, and the run was Darren Sproles. Like, you can't, listen, I love me some Darren Sproles, but at that point, he's your third down catchback, your special teams player. He was just coming off of like a broken leg, and you have Jordan Howard, and there was no pandemic excuse. We had the whole offseason and preseason. Jordan Howard was acquired way before that. Like, you had the time to get him ready. Are you seriously going to play Darren Sproles the most run attempts in that first game? It just was baffling to me, and it kept trickling down. I do like the idea of getting Miles Sanders HB1 touches, but now it's starting to look like, can this guy's body really hang in there?
Yeah, this is not the first of these injuries. I mean, it's hard for me to really call any of these guys like injury prone or soft or like getting injured on a regular basis. When you get injured in Philly, it almost comes with your contract. I feel like they sign a special part of their contract, and it's like you gotta miss a couple games now. You can't go crazy here. But no, all jokes aside, it's just frustrating to see him go down, and it's consistently like a hamstring injury, or it's always like something with his legs, which is probably even more concerning. But we needed somebody. I think this offseason especially, we needed somebody to kind of spell him, and that goes back to Howie. Howie did not get that done.
Yeah, shout out to Jim Schwartz in the chat. He said any time frame on Dallas Goedert. I think what was it? I think it was like
After the bye is what I saw.
Yeah. And so it was like 4 or 5 weeks, I believe, and that was a couple weeks ago. So listen, I want to say this though. We see at the top, this is a must-win game, and for people asking questions about do I think or do you think if we lose to the Giants, it's time to really pack it up? Well, I'm going to say yes now, but I'm never going to say pack it up in the moment. But listen, reality got a hit like, wow, we really lost the Giants. Now, I will say this, the same reality smacked us in the face last year when we lost to Miami. We thought we were done, and we ended up being able to turn it around. Now, I don't want to feel like that to turn it around, but let me say this. We remember Carson Wentz tailed off 4 back-to-back wins to get us into the playoffs. However, he was depleted. He was throwing to guys like Rob Davis, Deontay Burnett, Greg Ward Jr., all that good stuff. But he still had Miles Sanders and he had Zach Ertz. And this is what I want to say. Zach Ertz last year was productive. This year, he's been a shell of himself. However, I don't care what you tell the Ravens, the Steelers, the Niners, the footballers, the Rams, when they played us, they knew that Zach Ertz was struggling. But you know what they said in that locker room? This ain't the game we're going to let him get going.
Exactly.
This ain't the game we're going to let this man get going. So he still drew attention. When we played against teams, Minkah Fitzpatrick had to watch them. Sometimes their best corner on a team has to watch them. They got a roll coverage or bracket coverage. And then when we didn't have Zach Ertz that one game last year, we had Dallas Goedert. Mm-hmm. So now we're going into a game with Richard Rodgers, Kroom, and possibly Hakeem Butler. Again, the Giants ain't no defensive guru, but they're not going to have – now you can spend more attention, pay more attention to a TF13, to a Greg Ward in the slot, to the run game, to blitzing Carson Wentz. And again, the Giants ain't no guru, but this is the most depleted team we've had because, again, we always had either Ertz or Goddard or a Sanders or at least 1 or 2 linemen. You know what I mean? We're down every lineman but Kelsey and every single pass catcher that Carson knew prior to this season, really.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, you want to be kind of, I don't want to say happy. You want to be optimistic about my guy, Richard Rodgers, because Richard Rodgers, I mean, he's made some plays. Travis Kroom, or whatever his name is, Kroom. I don't know what his first name is. Mr. Kroom. We'll go with Mr. Kroom. He at least made a play last week. You know, I feel like we always kind of develop good tight ends. That's somewhere that we've been lucky. Obviously, Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz are a little bit different. They're special breeds, but we have been able to get good production from that position. So I think that we'll be fine in that regard. I'm looking for Travis Fulgham to really go crazy, to be honest. He had a good game last week, or I should say Sunday, quietly. He had a really good game. And I think this is a type of game that he goes off. You know, if he's really what we think he is, and I think he is, that boy might really, you know, open some eyes. And I think it's not just his ability. I think it's Carson Wentz's trust in him. Because even in that last touchdown that you saw with Travis Fulgham, Carson just threw it up. You know what I'm saying? We want to give Carson a lot of props on that, but he literally just threw that ball up, and Travis Fulgham just snatched it. So that was nice.
Yeah, I agree. And again, you know, the Carson Wentz haters are going to say he just threw it up, which he had to, because again, almost every pass on that last drive was simply off his back foot. And you know, what you don't teach a quarterback to do, but you tell him, well, if there's a guy 6 inches from your face, well, I guess that's what you got to do. Yeah. But shout out to Dwayne Williams. He said, but bro, it's the Giants. Our team ain't playing the same. Plus, we still got Saints, Seahawks, and Green Bay. Yeah, listen, I said that this is our most depleted team, and it's going to be harder, but it's still the Giants. And listen, there's no excuses. At this point, you're going to see my preview tomorrow. Make sure you check out my preview. We'll have a little bit of game film from the Ravens, have a little bit of Danny Fumble special. Because I'm going to talk about how we can get at this guy. Now, real quick, Danny Fumbles can be Danny Dimes if you give him time. But this man, at the first sign of a problem, starts to get a little nervous, throw some ugly balls. And he definitely will stand back there and hold the ball. If there's one game that we can replicate that 8 sacks against Cincinnati, it's on Thursday. Prime time, hungry, know we need to win. Hungry dogs run fast. And when you back the Eagles in the corner, that's when they normally pop out.
Facts. And Doug's like 5-0. Doug's like 5-0 on Thursday night, I believe, right now. So, I think all the signs are for us to win and kind of make this, because we are getting healthy. A lot of times, last year, the year before that, our injuries seem to happen at the end of the year. And, we kind of go into the playoffs with our injuries. Right now, we can, if we can get to the bye, we have some players coming back. So, it can get, a little bit brighter. The sun can be at the end of the tunnel, or the light can be at the end of the tunnel, if you will. So, this is a season that, and especially with the NFC East being so bad, we can make a run. And it seems that the New York Giants always seem to spark a run for us, especially the last 3 years, whether it be, a field goal or just a comeback win. So I'm looking forward to this game. I think it is a must-win game, but I think that will show up for this one.
Definitely. Shout out to my guy, Philly Fresh, part of the Battle Birds podcast in the building. Definitely go check out his channel if you haven't. I know it's normally later. Normally, I don't be doing anything past like 7:38, but a rough Tuesday, so we had to get it. Especially with all the content got to come out before Thursday. And I do want to get my post-game, pre-game out tomorrow. Like I said, if you want to check out what really went wrong on them sacks, 6 of them, which we do got to correct. Now, the Giants ain't no powerhouse with the D-line, but go check my guy, Philly, the podcast. He dropped one about an hour or 2, maybe 3 ago. I'm lost in the sauce with today. He dropped it today.
It was dropped. I promise. Yeah, definitely check that out. And like I said, Jamon Brown is the star of the show. I don't know if you saw that sack that he got on Carson Wentz, but maybe that's the reason why we got rid of Casey Toohill. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what, the whole thing behind that was. Maybe Jamon Brown is going to defensive end because he's out here getting sacks on the offensive line.
I agree. Yeah. Like, I saw your video, I saw Shake's video, and I saw some stuff on Twitter where, again, you got the half a sack on your own quarterback. You got the stop in the middle of a play to fix your glove. I gotta look good for the camera. And then lastly, I ain't never see a guy as big as these linemen are get thrown. I know it's Calais Campbell. This dude is a monster. However, this dude got tossed 7 yards, bro. And it was like, really, bro?
That's got to be embarrassing. I want to be a fly on the wall in that room, in that film room, when Stoutland's bringing that back, and he's like, all right, let's watch this play. Like, what do you say to your coach after that? And it sucks, especially with this COVID right now, because you can't sign anyone in time for the Thursday game, even if you wanted to. So we're either stuck with him or we might get Matt Pryor back. We'll see. At this point, I feel like our injury reports are just like they just make them up as they go. Because
to know who's injured, I just go to the people who are not injured. It's a shorter list. I'm like, all right, well, I know who's playing. That means the rest are probably not. Because if you're day to day with the Philadelphia Eagles, well, I'll see you next year, maybe, or at least in a month or two. So that day to day for the Eagles is no joke.
Yeah, it's sad, man. But the Giants, man. They got no running game too, so that's a nice thing. We don't got to deal with Saquon, so I think we're gonna really knock him out the park. See Jamon is the man right now. Jamon's gonna go #fire Jamon or something. It's gonna be crazy.
Hey, but look, you did hear Doug Pederson talk about we have options. We got Sua Opeta that can possibly play. Opeta, people always correct me. Opeta. Matt Pryor might be back off that COVID list. He never really had COVID, but he was feeling some type of illness, so they had to put him over there. So, and listen, Pryor wasn't good, but my God, was Pryor better. So we got Pryor to try. We got Sua. Hopefully, our boy Drake Driscoll can possibly come back. Maybe even Lane Johnson toughs it out, so then you can move a Driscoll over and stuff like that. And shout out to Hearn. He said, did y'all see Jordan Mailata bully the Ravens D tackle and cornerbacks? Yeah, listen, on the Carson Wentz interception, he's the one who made the tackle, and actually he forced a fumble, but the ball just bounced back to another player, and then he just straight threw the guy back down when he tried to get back up, yo. My guy Jordan Ma, listen, if again, we're not just talking about our coaching staff sometimes not being able to evaluate, and or the beat writers were killing this guy. Now remember, we normally get to see practice. We get to see the practices. We get to see the preseason. We didn't get to see none of that this year. And the word on the street was, my God, Jordan Mailata is straight no good. 3 years, waste of time. What are we doing? Please, God, don't let this guy be on the field. We even moved money to get JP there for a game or two. And then we find out that everything that was portrayed to us, and I'm not saying he wasn't buns in practice, but again, this guy has been another gem. He's a low-key gem. Nobody's really talking about it because, you know, the offensive line ain't the nice thing. It ain't the new tool. We got TF13. We got Greg Ward running nice routes. We got Jason Kroom catching touchdowns, you know. But yeah.
I mean, as far as my bad, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I'm saying he's definitely a gem that we found.
No, I think our offensive line in general, it looks very bad. Yes, I will say that. But this is also our like sixth rotation. But if you look at it individually, like you said, and it's a testament to Stoutland, to be honest, because Stoutland is a god the way he does this. Because I mean, you look at Nate Herbig, Driscoll, you look at like you said, Jordan Mailata, you look at Big V when we had Big V. He's been able to just develop these offensive linemen. Jamon Brown is an NFL player. He used to be an NFL player. You know what I'm saying? Which is exactly like, which makes no sense. He's been an NFL starter before, and that's what you saw. But, you know, and Matt Pryor's not great, but he did develop Matt Pryor into something that worked. And he moved JP over to guard. So our offensive line has been terrible in spurts. But, you know, if you look at it individually, we do have some people to fall back on. Instead of drafting O-linemen, just go grab some big guys from Facts. Get you some rugby players, bro. That's what we need.
But when you watch rugby, there's not that many big guys. Like, I don't know. I don't watch rugby, to be honest, so maybe I'm wrong. But when I watch Jordan Mailata rugby highlights, he was the only guy that size. There's a bunch of little guys trying to tackle him, and I felt bad for these guys because he was running through them.
I don't know how people play rugby, man. That's a whole gladiator sport right there, man.
Yeah, listen, I mean, to be honest, we used to do it back in the day. You know, you go outside with your friends, you're playing tackle football. You know what I mean? You don't got no gear on. These people, you're getting kicked in the face, in the mouth, no gear, nothing like that. But again, we were little. We weren't, you know.
Not grown men, you know what I'm saying? They crazy. Yeah, and especially trying to go after somebody like Mailata. And I know a lot of people try to say they trying to the Eagles boy, water boy on IR. I would believe it, bro. But we need Nate Gary. I don't know how Nate Gary has snaked and slithered his way away from every type of injury or sickness. Like, bro, everybody on our team's getting hurt but you, man. And I don't wish that on nobody. Don't get me wrong, but like miss the bus or something. We need you to just not be on the field 1 week.
Facts. And yeah, shout out to you, Emmanuel. He's like, exactly. I mean, why not? Everybody else is going. But here's the interesting, and I talked about this yesterday with my guy DJ Eastwood. You know, for Carson Wentz being injury prone, this guy's gotten hit more than any other quarterback in the NFL. So all the other 31 quarterbacks got hit less than Carson Wentz. He's supposed to be injury prone. He got the same medical staff and conditioning that the whole team's got, but everybody else is dropping like flies. And knock on wood. Knock on wood. You guys heard the knocking, right? I'm not trying to jinx him, but you know, listen. Yes, he missed some games, but you got to put it in context. The big injury came back too quick, got a little, you know, nick and knack. But and last year's wasn't an injury. It was a freak accident that was a illegal hit. I mean, if he would have broke his arm last year, you know, tore, you know, hamstring or something that was physically wrong with him, I'd have been like, wow, really, bro? But look, the guy's doing much more than what, you know, listen, he goes to the post game and he never gives, he's not like Tom Brady. You know, if Tom Brady's getting hit like him, we just saw when they lost to the Bears where he didn't want to shake my guy's hand, Nick Foles. Tom Brady's yelling for mental mistakes. Well, Jamon Brown already did more mental mistakes than all Tom Brady's offensive linemen, and Carson Wentz will pat this guy on the back. His ribs are hurting from this guy. He's over there taking pictures with Lamar Jackson, and Carson Wentz is still going to, just give him props at the podium. So my guy Carson Wentz is North Dakota tough, and we got respect on his name.
I will say, though, bro, wow, that's nice, and I like that. Part of me is kind of like, I kind of want him to yell at the podium at sometimes, man, because some of these people need to hear it. So, you know what I'm saying? I forget what meme it is that he's like, no, these people need to hear it. Like, sometimes that's how I feel. Like, Carson, just tell these people. And maybe it's not publicly, you know what I'm saying? But these guys need to hear that they're not doing well. And I feel like nobody's really telling them. I hear a lot of, like, we need to do better. We need to execute better. We need to be better. And I know that, like I said, publicly is probably not the way, but I at least hope these guys aren't getting ice cream from Doug Pederson because, these guys aren't playing up to snuff. So I hope they're being held accountable. And that comes from the top up to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got to be held accountable.
Facts. And like I said, real quick, shout out to the channel members in here: Jersey Boy, Murph DeKenzo, Vic 3, Be More Philly. There was another one that was in here early. I didn't shout him out on it, but shout out to you guys. Murph said, I think the feds are coming in. I hear knocking. My goodness. But let me ask you this question. Howie has reports out that we are going to possibly be buyers at the trade deadline. Now, I do believe this game is important for him to continue that statement. Like, you don't lose to the Giants, turn 1-5-1, and then want to be buyers. However, let's talk about some what ifs. What if the Eagles beat the Giants? They beat the Cowboys. They go to the bye week, and I don't know if that's the deadline or the week after. But if we reel off 2 or 3 wins before the deadline, but you still can see the deficiencies, whether it be on O-line, whether it be Miles Sanders keep getting knick-knacked up, and we do need a running back, whether it be another receiver goes down or Alshon and Deshaun really are just done. Do you see, what kind of do you see Howie trying to make a move for?
Personally, I think if we're going to make a move, it should be, I don't think it's going to be like a Julio Jones or somebody that a sexy name. I think it's going to be somebody that's young, that's proven to be good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like a linebacker or something like that, that you can extend and then, kind of play off of that. But either way, even if it is a running back, even if it is an offensive linebacker, I don't see it being somebody that's a huge name or anything like that. I think it's going to be somebody, like I said, that they can get for either cheap or for a good deal down the road, or somebody that's a replacement. I personally am like kind of totally against getting another wide receiver. I think wide receiver at this point is kind of the least of our worries. I think it's about getting these people back on the field and not putting more hats in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, if we start winning and you see a good deal for a good linebacker or a good second cornerback and it's not going to cost you that much, I've seen some reports that Houston Texans are starting to become sellers. If you can grab somebody off that defense for cheap and for, you know what I'm saying, it makes sense, go ahead. I'm not against that. But just to go grab a big name, like kind of like the Golden Tate trade that we did, I wouldn't do something like that this year because it just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because now John Ross is out there, and I seen a couple people make videos on it. Shout out to my guy Philly Fresh, who made a video and said John Ross, but no.
Yeah, no.
Look, when you talk about speed, you got Rager. Jackson might come back for another half of football or something like that. John Ross is the real one-trick pony. You got Jalen Rager, who showed you can open up. He can do a lot more. We haven't got to see it yet, but he will show us. But yeah, shout out to my guy Vic 3. He said, "Can y'all touch on how Doug was a little upset at his news conference yesterday?" Okay,
he always looking sad. He's always looking sad. I did actually a video about this not too long ago, and I was like, "Is Doug Pederson giving up?" If you watch his news press conferences and stuff like that, he's always just like kind of looking at his fingers or looking around, or I'm not really sure. Execution. It's I don't know. Just like it seems like he doesn't want to be there, which I understand. They probably don't. You know what I'm saying? To be 100% honest, who really wants to be at their job half the time? But on the same token, there's no life to it. There's no, and then you even go back to when they were like, "Oh, Carson's struggling," and he thought that they said he was doing good, and he kind of scoffed it off and everything. Just little stuff like that that's been adding up. It starts to get more worrisome, and that's why I say people need to be held accountable from the top to the bottom, because somebody is not telling the full truth. You know what I'm saying? In that front office. Because like either somebody doesn't have the power they say they do, or somebody has the power that they're not saying they have. So, it's very telling.
Yeah, shout out to my guy B More Philly. Said rumors about the Eagles looking at Percy Harvin. Listen, man, I heard that. I heard my guy Darius Dalton tweet that, and I'm just like, yo, I didn't even decide to look into it because it was more of a laughing thing. But like, if that name is still bouncing around the NFL, like, huh?
We should get T.O. too. We should get T.O.
Yeah. I mean, Chad Ochocinco really wants to come back though. Like he's been letting people.
He's only like 43. You know what I'm saying? Bring him back for a year. He'll probably pay us to play. Maybe he could help our salary cap out a little bit.
But hey yo, shout out to Doug Pederson. He said, "What did you guys think of my read out?" I still stand by it. There was nothing wrong. There was nothing else left to go. Hey, shout out to the person. I really want to know who you are, though. Like, you're a normal subscriber who just chills with us. But the go-to Jim Schwartz, because someone just commented on my video just a little bit ago. I didn't get the comment back, but it was Howie Roseman. And he's like, "Why do you guys criticize me so much?"
Yeah, that's top 5. Yeah, some of these people are just bad, are funny bad. That's hilarious. But I mean, hey, if we're gonna answer that question seriously, I'm not even mad at the play call. It's just at this point, it's just like I'm not even surprised. You know what I'm saying? I personally would have loved to see the ball in Carson Wentz's hand. I feel like he brought you all the way down there.
You got to.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta put it in his hand and let him win or lose it for you. But and even if, and I'm gonna say this, and I know you're not a fan of me saying this because but if you are going to run the read option, put Jalen Hurts in some type of position. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree. I agree with that. If you were dead set on that, even though it would have showed that we were definitely doing that. But here's the thing: like the last drive was constant pressure. Like, I mean, a guy in Carson Wentz's face every single throw. That read option takes a full second. It didn't work 2 other 2-point tries ago where you did it with Hurts and Sanders. So let's take a less athletic quarterback and a smaller back than Miles Sanders. So it was just like that. And it's like for you to wake up, because he goes on WIP early, for you to wake up and already like, dang, yeah, why'd I do that? Like, he's like, I had a timeout. I could have used a timeout. But don't say you exhausted all options. Be like, listen, there was a couple more plays. I should have picked a better play. But you come out and be like, yo, the Cards, I only had Uno left.
That's the thing with, and to kind of go back to what he was saying, that's the thing with his press conferences is that it's just so baffling at this point. It's like, what do you mean you don't have any more plays? You have like 15 offensive assistants. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had like 10 different offensive coordinators in your 3 years here. You couldn't steal some plays. And, to bring up one of your videos, one of your thumbnails, you had the coach from The Water Boy.
Yeah.
That's just how he reminds me. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? Sitting on the ball, just so upset. Like, bro, what is going on? I just feel like he's lost confidence somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Someday about Wentz. Oh, yeah. Hey, I addressed them myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was upset, but but the way I said it, all right, the way I said it in my defense is that I wanted to see something different, and I did put it up at the halftime. You know what I'm saying? But I was wrong. I bit my tongue. The video's not up no more. It is what it is. I was wrong.
Hey, yeah, listen, because it was just funny because I didn't know you had put that halftime video up yet because I
was tight, bro.
I was doing play-by-plays, but when you came in a post-game and, you were just on with Philly Fresh and everything, and then so he pulled your comment up, and I was like, all right, let me read it. And he was like, wow, this is what he's saying? But yeah, Jalen Williams, he made a video, he made a video by himself addressing what he said in his video plus the post-game comments. And, but look, let's be honest. Wentz wasn't playing terrific in the first half, But it still didn't merit. I don't think it merited what you said, because the 2 or 3 plays he did great were dropped, like legitly
Yeah, no,
dropped.
and like I said, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was upset, but even especially watching the film, I definitely was wrong. But go ahead, my bad.
The offense, and again, like sometimes when you watch the game, you see Carson Wentz holding the ball. Here's the thing: sometimes you're like, throw it away. Why don't he throw it away? And there's multiple reasons why. One, he's very good at breaking tackles, and he's like, there's things that go through Carson's head, like, wow, we're gonna go 3 and out again. He's tired of it, so he puts a little bit too much on his plate. I agree. That's a fine line he has to go through. However, when he does break down and throws a 30-yard completion, we love it. Also, a couple times he was holding the ball, he's in the pocket, so you can't throw it. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
He has to escape first, or if he throws it, he has to throw it at someone's feet. But then when you're trying to avoid the sack and throw it at someone's feet, that's when you throw it a little bit high and it's picked. So there's a lot of things that come into it. And again, it only shows the Carson Wentz side. It doesn't show how the receivers were getting deep. And again, the offense was stagnant, but the 2 or 3 times where we could have had a 50, 60-yard touchdown and or a 20-yard touchdown, like Miles, you got to catch that. John Hightower. I'm glad John Hightower went ahead and caught a 50-yard bomb. I love the separation he gets.
Yeah, he can run some routes, man. That kid can run some routes. I saw it in the beginning too. Like when he was, I want to say it was like his first or second game. I was watching some of his routes, and I was like, damn, if he just like actually went to the ball when the ball was coming towards him instead of waiting, I feel like in the beginning of his when he was first playing, he just kind of sat in his route instead of attacking the ball at the end of the play. So I think he's getting better at that, though. And I like the kid a lot. I like him a lot. I think we got some talent at the wide receiver spot. We just got to get some health, and we got to get him out on the field. Just throw the ball away. Yeah, Mahomes he has an offensive line, though.
Brennan and Jason, are y'all watching football or the presidential debate on Thursday?
Who isn't watching the presidential debate? Come on now. I'm kidding. Yeah. He plays in the chat too.
Shout out to Simone Stanley in the building. And I've been catching some of her videos. She's been talking a lot of good stuff about my guy Carson Wentz. I like to hear it.
Yeah, she's on the Carson train again.
I like it. Nah, but like I said, I'm not gonna lie, Jalen Hurts coming in the game gave the little spark. But again, John Hightower, the good sign was he came back in the game, caught a 50-yard pass. Miles Sanders, probably one of the best hands for a running back. I'm gonna let that one slide. I was pissed. I gave him his crap for it. But you gotta let it go for a little bit until it's a continuous thing.
Yeah, facts.
But it hurts. It hurts because a win against the Ravens would have did so much. It would have been the bang bang of the season so far,
especially in that fashion to come back like that.
It would have changed the narrative on Carson Wentz to the media about the Eagles, a lot of things.
Yeah, but, I like what we got going, and like you said, Miles does have very, very good hands, so it was kind of unfortunate to see him drop that, but. If we would have been able to win that, it would have been crazy. People would have been bugging out on us.
Yeah. Shout out to Be More Philly. He said, "Your guy Wentz, Mike, you're funny." Yeah, because I said that Lamar Jackson is still having a good season as a football player, maybe not a quarterback, but in the same sentence, I said on this Eagles team, I would take Carson over Lamar, but I didn't want to just keep doo-dooing on Lamar. And then also, I gave Wentz a little bit crap for a fumble. Because it's a fumble. However, Carson Wentz played a good game. I said it in my post game. I said it in my pregame. I said it all through the play-by-play. Be more. I know you do your own thing and don't come into my play-by-plays. I defended him for a 3-hour live stream, bro.
And that run was crazy. That run was insane.
Hey, be more. Whenever you think I'm not a Carson Wentz guy, just ask Solo Bolo, who's in here as well. Ask Solo Bolo because that's the person that be throwing shots all through my play-by-plays. But shout out to Solo Bolo because they be in my play-by-plays from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. And they always ask me, is Wentz going to do it? Is Wentz going to do it?
Yeah, I think he's got it. You know what I'm saying? We just got to get healthy. That's what
Yeah.
I don't really think we need a wide receiver, if I'm being honest.
It's a new sign with somebody though. I heard
I
he.
don't believe so. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him signing with anyone.
Stop it.
You know, I read something talking about Foles. I read something that it could be the Eagles as the sixth or the fourth seed and the Bears as the sixth seed. So that would be interesting if we had to play them in the first round.
I was hoping that they were still Solo Bolo was still here, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, Solo Bolo's last comment was, I'm hoping Wentz proves me wrong. And we drove down, we got the game tying touchdown, and we couldn't convert the 2-point try, which broke me. I watched them fake hand it off, and the play just like died. I mean, Carson took a step and he was hit by Judon. And partly was because Richard Rodgers, again, shout out to my guy Vic 3, who said part of it got to be on the coaching, but also execution. Yeah, if Richard Rodgers holds his block, maybe Carson makes something happen. I just think what you said. Carson got us down there, whether it be a lucky throw to TF13 or not. I'm rolling Carson out with the opportunity to fit a tight ball into one of the receivers or let Carson run in, but taking him away from the pressure. That read option allows you to stay there for a second, stagnant, when, you know,
you tried it already. That's my biggest thing. It's like, you already did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like as soon as they hiked it, I was like, well, that's anticlimactic right there. Oh, where'd he go? All right. Well, now I'm running Philly Talk Podcast. What's good, y'all? You know what I'm saying?
No, we good. I just had to. You're good.
I was about to say, yeah, now I'm about to take over. You know, I'm taking over.
Simone Stilling said, I think we missed Jenkins on the defense. What do you think about that?
We're missing a lot of things on the defense. I think we just need to get some better play calling, and we need better execution. Will Parks looked like he helped a little bit. He was, I guess, his main focus was to be on the tight end, and you didn't hear much of Mark Andrews, so that's a good thing. But I really don't know what that defense needs, to be honest, because they're not even that, they don't have that many injuries. So it's like, what else do you need at this point? And that's why I think Jim Schwartz needs to go, because he's gotten everything at this point. Like, you can get better at positions, especially linebacker, but I don't know how much more money we're going to give this dude. Like, you could have not paid one of your linemen $50 million.
Hey, real quick, two things. Okay, shout out to my guy Prophet one time. He said, even with the L, the narrative on Wentz has changed from how bad he is to who is there to help him and the bad O-line. Again, first 3 games, played bad. Second 3 games, played better. Didn't get us over the hump, but you got to put everything in context. So I do believe Wentz is on the way we want him to be. He's starting to carry a team that needs him to carry it, because you see when he's not doing Wentz type things, we're stagnant. So I like that. I will say this, though. Shout out to all 109 in the live chat. Like I said, we do live streams on the daily, weekly. We do regular videos. We do play-by-play. So make sure you subscribe to the Philly Talk Podcast and do me a favor and smash that like button. It's simple. It's free. It's easy. It pushes the stream out and helps the stream. All it takes is a second to click off the live chat. Bang, bang. Come back in and talk to us. If you're like Fear the Four, who's definitely not an Eagles fan, who's talking either got to be a footballer, Giant, or Cowboy, go ahead and hit the dislike, and I appreciate that as well.
Facts.
Also, my guy right here, he goes by, go ahead, tell them where they can find you, actually.
Yeah. Check me out, Philly, the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Philly, just like the play, Philly special. Very easy to remember. The podcast, Philly Fresco. So, yeah, definitely check me out. Got a very, very good, juicy video about Jamon Brown and those 6 sacks that he, helped lead to. So definitely go check me out.
Yeah, I always say, listen, he's an upcoming content creator when it comes to Philly sports. So just watch a video. If you like it, you know what to do. But if not, he's got a view at least. But definitely check it out. Eagle Fillet said, did Carson have more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson? I forgot. No.
He
had a long longer run. He had the longest
Yeah.
run of the game when it comes to the quarterback. So that's what you probably heard. He didn't have more rushing yards because actually Lamar rushed for 100. People low key not talking. He only threw for like 160, but he ran for 100 as well. But when you look at the longest one run, it was our boy rumbling, bumbling, stumbling for 40 piece.
That was a crazy run. And that's, that's not what you want to see from Carson, but that's, what you want to see from Carson. It's kind of, it was a beautiful play. Obviously I was nervous the whole
This is
time.
for you because you put the video out.
I had Calais Campbell on locks. He could not get past me. I think I had to start a game. What y'all think? Yeah, nah, bro. I like the picture he had though. That was pretty funny. Yeah, nah, bro. That dude, Jamon Brown. I don't know how he's gonna be even on the team next week or this week, I should say.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Jason Ball. He said, "What do you think about Tua taking Fitz's job? It's almost a protest worthy. Beards, lives." I can't get the I can't get
a little.
Yeah, I can't get the big one, but I agree. Hey, my guy who I want to get on the live stream with me. My gosh, I'm bad. Dang, I can't remember his name now. It's on the tip of my tongue. And he made a video. Oh, Mr. Dugas. There it goes. He's an Eagle Heat Brave guy. He does Eagles content, Heat and Braves. He made a video about this, in general, and he was like, could you imagine, since they play in Tua, they're willing to part ways, and the Cowboys go ahead and try to pull the trigger and get a Fitzpatrick over Andy Dalton?
I would not want to see that. That's actually a really bad idea if you're an Eagles fan, but that's a good idea for the Cowboys. I was even talking about if like the Atlanta Falcons are really down to just tank and get rid of that whole team, they should really try and go get Matt Ryan. Why not? If you're not going to pay Dak in the next year or nothing.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to just a Cowboy fan. At this point, we just need to combine all NFC East teams and we might win 10 games. Hey, listen, the sad part is there's 6 teams in the NFL who have more wins than the whole NFC East. That's wild. I hate hearing it because listen, I'm not going to lie. When the Seattle Seahawks won the division at 7-9, I was talking my talk back in the day. However, I still think, and I put this on Twitter, and if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, definitely follow your boy at Philly_Mike25. I tweeted, the Eagles are going to win the division at 7-8-1. So we still won't be considered the worst team to ever win a division because we should be half a game better than that year they won. Hey, but listen, Seattle went to the playoffs with a 7-9 record and beat like the 10-6 Saints. That's when Marshawn Lynch did the hold my,
Yeah, that was a beautiful 2 of them. He did 2 of them that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Shout out to our guy Philly Notion, another great content creator. Eagles all day just was live, and I think he's going live later tonight, or he's probably getting ready to go live now because again, this is out of my element. I don't be up at 10 o'clock. But he said, fellas, fire Eagles, fire content. I believe Eagles, let's get this win Thursday. You already know this is a must win for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is not the pregame, but again, Thursday's coming quick. How does the chat feel about this game? Let us know, chat. And I did want to address Simone's comments and get your take on it. She said, we don't got that hype man. And so that's what she was talking about with Malcolm. We don't got the hype man, the leader. I do like what Ronnie McLeod's been doing. I think maybe in a leader standpoint, we don't have it, but Malcolm hasn't been playing the best football. But the leadership still goes a long way because, I don't know what was said to these guys, but the defense was different at the end of this game for the Ravens because they came out and got a couple crucial stops for the Eagles to even have that chance on offense. What's your take on that, though?
I mean, I think the Ravens, honestly, they kind of shot themselves in the foot a lot. Not to take anything too much away from what the Eagles did, defensively, but I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot more than we really stopped them. I think especially in the first half, it could have been a blowout really easily. We need somebody that can be the quarterback of that secondary. You kind of want Slay to be able to do it, but I feel like Slay's kind of just on his own thing. I feel like he just, he does his thing. He locks down his side. He does what he does. And that's about it. It doesn't seem like he's a real vocal person for the whole team. Rodney McLeod, kind of. leads with action, if you will, with the safeties. He's been, silently very good, to be honest. He's been very solid. We do need somebody though. We need somebody to really step up and just because we have it on the defensive line between Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. So even if it's them just kind of taking over the whole defense and just getting everybody going, you know what I'm saying? Because they seem like the only people that really get hype and be yelling at people and stuff. So
Yeah.
we need somebody to really step up on both sides. To be honest, Carson's obviously looking like he's stepping up as that dude on offense, but definitely we need it on defense. So I agree with it.
I agree. So Prophet one time, shout out to my guy. He said, what's his name, Mike? It's Philly, the podcast. Actually, if you look at the bottom, the thing that's going on is to subscribe to Philly Talk Podcast and Philly, the podcast for great Philly content. So there we go. Let's take some of these statements of what they think about this game.
Okay.
But let's see. So Joseph Simmons says the winner of the division will be based on defense, and the Cowboys don't have one. So all out. Eagles 27, Giants 13. Wow, typos. My bad. Yeah, Eagles winning division. I'll take that. Solo Bolo, Hurts will have a TD on Thursday. Book it. Hey, Doug Pederson and all the beat writers are talking about with the lack of Miles Sanders, you could see Hurts a snap count get higher. Will it be at the quarterback trick plays, or will he line up next to Carson and go out for a catch, run some balls, maybe get a sweep like he's gonna run and then throw it? But I think he's going to be involved. We're gonna see how it goes. What's your take on that?
I would love to see. I would love to see more Hurts. Just I think he opens up here we go. I love this, man. You got the best subscribers.
Yeah, so far we had Jamon Brown, Howie Roseman, Jim Schwartz, and Doug Pederson. We all had a ball in the game, and he said,
"Vote White Snake." Oh God, what were we saying? Now he messed me up.
About Hurts getting
I would love to see Hurts out there. I think he just takes off a lot of pressure for Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's just a little bit different. I don't want to see that pass back and then pass across the field type thing. Let's just spread the defense out a little bit. Maybe take off some of the blitzing pressure that Wentz has been seeing.
Yeah. And like I said, I liked it at first because when he threw it to Carson, I saw Carson look down the field, but I think the Ravens had it covered up. Again, I still didn't get to watch the all 22. That's one of the things I want to break down and see what was the field looking like. I forgot what play I said during a play-by-play. For those who were in the play-by-play, if somebody can remember and comment later, but I said it's second quarter, 14 minutes, I believe, or something. I want to check this play because Carson had the ball for really long. The whole chat was saying. So I wanted to see what the back end looked like on that play, but I forgot where it was.
Yeah, some of those, honestly, a lot of the plays that I saw, there was a couple of them, especially on the sacks, that he had maybe a second or two to definitely get the ball out. And there was a lot of people, like I said, that were wide open on those blitzes. But I think it kind of goes with the nature of Baltimore's defense, too. That's what they kind of do. They bet all on black and just send whoever they're going to send and hope that they can get there, to be honest. So it's kind of misleading, but at the same time, there were plays to be made every now and then, but he had maybe a second and a half most of those times. So it sucked for him. I felt bad.
I agree. Yeah. So again, I'm going to be talking about this in my preview. Quick week, but we're definitely going to have the pregame live stream with the Battlebirds podcast, and definitely going to drop my preview out. I know, again, Philly the podcast is probably going to drop his preview out tomorrow too. So definitely go check out them. And it's cool to watch multiple because you get a different take from a different Eagles content creator. We all look at the team. We know the highs and the lows, but we still see ways that could be attacked differently. But look, Daniel Jones, when he has times, he can look like Danny Dimes. If he don't have time, here comes Danny fumbles. And if we think Carson fumbles, this guy can look like he can cut the ball.
Yeah, I think he had 19 or something last year. Like just last year, he had like a record. Yeah, so I'm excited to see our defensive line get at him.
First quarter, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. I'm gonna write that down. Got it. But yeah, and definitely we got to get Simone up on here again too. I remember right before the season we had her on the Philly Talk podcast, and she's grinding too. I know she's just getting over 500, maybe close to 600 at this point. Definitely go check out Simone Stanley for not only great Eagles content, but also she rocks out with some big time names. She got that
Yes,
big
sir.
pool.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had her on the channel too. I'm telling her she's gonna get me on the channel pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that special guest Philly the pie. It just looks good in lights. You know?
Yeah, and like I said, so again, we got a lot of work to do. For a lot of Eagle stuff going to be coming out before Thursday. It's a short week, but I think that's better because the way we lost to the Ravens, I don't want that hanging over the head too long. It wasn't a bad, but it's one of them demoralizing losses where it's like, you feel like you should be better than that. You know what I mean? And Doug, definitely needs to get on his P's and Q's because my goodness, the play call
Yeah.
not be like that at all. Simple and plain.
Yeah, it's a big swing. You know, if we would have won that game, I think we would have been at the top of the mountain. And then losing that game, I feel like everybody's just at the bottom, kind of looking up right now. But, I think this year is very different from the last couple just because we have people coming back. I did hear that Brandon Brooks is going to be eligible to come off the pup in a couple weeks. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to play for a couple weeks after that. But maybe a playoff return or something like that is in his cards or something. You never know. So we just got to kind of keep our fingers crossed and our hopes up.
Yeah. Shout out to Great. I don't know how to say the last thing, and I'm horrible with names, but he said, I wonder why I'm here. Unfortunately, I'm a Giant. Hey, but shout out to you at the end of the day. Here's the thing. I actually, don't have the most trolls or whatever, but I do got fans of all types. And at the end of the day, I love the NFC East talk. Like, people come on here and say their stuff, why their team is going to beat my team. I don't hold it. The only time I expect, my guys who got wrenches to do work with is if you're like coming disrespectful to someone at the chat or, myself included or my co-host. But yeah, man, you gotta have that NFC East rival. I know we don't like the Giants, Cowboys, footballers, and I don't expect them to like us. And it's all good when it comes to the sport. And at the end of the day, the team that wins is gonna be the one who gets to do the most talking. So
Yeah, facts. Makes it fun.
Hey, the Giants are riding a little high. They're coming off a W. A convincing win, no. But hey, we didn't beat the footballers. It's a different footballers, but we lost to them. So I do like what we were able to do against two high quality teams. You're talking about 10-1 combined. The Steelers and the Ravens are 10-1 combined, and we gave them fits the whole time. So I like it.
Yeah, and they're great defenses, and for our wounded offense, that's why I think there's brighter days ahead. I think we'll be all right. You know what I mean? It's just it sucks right now, but we've been here before. This is nothing new. We've definitely been in this spot before, so I think we'll be all right. I think we'll make it.
And like I said, and I was if I had time to do a video today, it was just gonna be general thoughts on the Giants and talking about that Cowboys game. So I'm gonna say what I was gonna say to open it up. My opening statement was gonna be kind of like what my guy Al Kabir, the analyst, said. Cowboys got blown out by a team whose quarterback only completed 9. My opening statement was gonna be simply this. So last night, the Dallas Cowboys had an opportunity to take advantage of this weak NFC lease, and they definitely didn't do that, getting blown out by the Arizona Cardinals, but with the quarterback only completing 9 passes. Again, that defense is a do whatever you want. Run on them, pass on them, play action, trick play, go get yours. And for a struggling offense, we got some guys. I saw my guy, Lord Brunson, post this up. Actually, Jeff whatever, I forgot his name.
McMullen.
One of the beat writers tweeted it, and then LB got it and put it on YouTube. The last 4 games we played against were top 10 defenses, and yes, the Rams are in the top 10 of defenses, and they've been holding teams to like 17 points, and that's kind of what we're averaging, like 18 points. However, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Browns, which is our next 4 games, they allow 25 to 28 points a game. So for a team that's been struggling on offense, who's depleted as all we ever been, This is the time to get the offense moving. We should average 23 to 28 points in the next couple games. And as long as the defense can hold them under 28, we should come out on the winning side. And if we cross this bye week and we looking at 4-4-1 or 5-4-1, it's a different story. I believe the Cowboys are going to lose a couple more because, hey, did you hear the reports that come out? Not only did they get beat by Arizona, there's players for the Cowboys legitimately saying that this coaching staff does not prepare, that they don't do their job right, and they're just blaming them. And shout out to Victory. It is Jeff McClain.
There we go.
But yeah, what do you think about the Cowboy reports coming out? That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that loss was demoralizing. Like you said, they kind of just let them do whatever they want. Even when my man Kyler Murray basically pitched it back to himself. I don't know if you saw that. That's like the ultimate disrespect right there. Yeah. But either way, they got played around. It was sad. But to hear stuff like that, that's not good. I mean, whereas Eagles fans are kind of assuming that things are wrong with the front office, you know what I'm saying? But at least, if there is something going on, the players aren't saying anything about it. They're kind of keeping it in-house, which you want to see. But, I love it. I love it. I love to see the Cowboys just dismantling themselves, to be honest. And I love it even more because maybe it's just me, but I feel like Cowboys fans have become so empathetic to injuries and having poor offensive line over the past couple of weeks. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere, they just know what it's like to have an injured quarterback. Like when we were going through it, it was no excuse. But now, it's a world changer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for I forgot the lady's name too. Somebody in here will let us know. She reports on the Dallas Cowboys a lot. She simply said that players were going to try to keep it in-house, but the frustrations build up from the 2-4 start. They letting stuff leak. Their exact words is that they don't prepare us throughout the week, right? They don't know how to do their job, and it's just so many problems. Of course, the players saying about the coaches ain't really going to leak nothing about the players, but when that happens, you're talking about Jason Garrett lost the team in a couple years. This looks like
a couple weeks.
Nolan and McCarthy could have lost them in a month and a half.
Well, they got McCarthy out of like a barn or something like that. So, I mean, are we really that surprised? I mean, I feel like we all kind of gave the Cowboys, especially, people that cover media, because every year I feel like the Cowboys are a contender in some form. I feel like we all gave them a pass and said, oh, new coach, new system. Yeah, this will work out. But when you're in a barn watching film for a year or two and you got cut by, you couldn't make Aaron Rodgers work. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to what you have on, I just didn't see it working at all. Anyways, they looked the same as they did last year. You know what I'm saying? I think they have bigger problems than just their coaching. So, but like I said, I love it. I love to watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's the greatest soap opera in the world.
Back. Shout out to my guy Darius Dalton who jumped in here real quick. Dallas stinks. I agree. Listen, Darius was letting him have it a little bit. I like what Darius's angle. He kept it a little classy. He said, we're going to worry about Philly and all that good stuff. But yeah, listen, these are not good reports. It's only going to build more animosity in the locker room. The Eagles have the opportunity to take the little league that we need to go into the Saints, to go into the Packers, to go into the Seahawks game in the future. We get this lead. If we end up being able to roll off the Giants, Cowboys, Giants, you're talking about feeling good. Probably got a guy like Dallas Goedert back. Probably got Jalen Reagor back. Probably got Lane Johnson in a higher capacity. You might even get Isaac Seumalo back. If you're talking about 4 weeks from today, you're talking about Jalen Reagor, Lane Johnson, maybe more healthy, Isaac Seumalo, maybe one of the D-Jacks and Alshon can fit in with TF13 because nobody can take my guys' minutes. And you're talking about getting these guys back, playing against Cleveland, who's up and down too. So Cleveland's they're not the Ravens, they're not the Steelers. They're right now they got a better record than us, but they're not them. So we start reeling off some W's, get healthy, take a command and lead, and then listen. People can still talk about this division, but Hey, the biggest thing is they saying we're going to win this division under 500. So if we can slip to 9 wins, which I think we have to get guys back and legitly get on the thing, because
Yeah.
9 wins now means 9-7. That means we're going to have to go 8-3 the rest of the way. I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because wait, what are we right now? We're 1-5-1. So 8-3, yeah. 8-2.
Yeah.
See, that one is gonna mess me up, man. That one tie is gonna ruin me. So it'll be 9-1, that's 10, and then 6. So we would have to lose one more. So yeah, we would have to go on a nice little run. We would have to go on a nice little run.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Giants fan. He said I gave you a great stat and you passed me by. I did keep it up there. He said, "Here's a great stat: the Giants beat the Eagles at night one time."
One time. Yeah, we beat them like 6 years in a row or something like that. It's my whole family's Giants fans too, so I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
To be real, the Giants haven't beat the Eagles since 2016.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we were saying kind of the same thing about the Washington football team.
Facts. Facts. I mean, but also, like I said, this is a weird year with the COVID, with everything going on and everything. So you never know what's going to happen next week. You never know what's going to happen, like you said, from 4 weeks from now. We just gotta start winning some games. That's really what it comes down to. I know, as dumb as that sounds, we just gotta start winning. Did you see them saying that some of their fans were trying to get Zeke out? Like, I know our fans go crazy, but if they trying to get rid of Zeke, I'll take him. He could come on over to Philly.
Yeah, I was joking around on Twitter, but still, we know. Listen, I do believe this is a problem because once it gets in your head as a running back, it's kind of hard to shake off. But once he shakes it off, Zeke will bounce back. But he does have more fumbles in 6 games than he had all last year. So it's tough, but he has to get out of his own head. But like I said, we got a $133 in the building still. It's 10:21, and we still got a $133 in here. It's actually growing. I mean, Eagle fans love staying up. But we go a little bit longer. But make sure you smash that like button. It's short, it's easy, it's free. It costs $0. Click
$3.99.
Smash that button, and then come back in and chat it with us. And if you want to know the name to my guy right there, it's in the banner going down. Philly, the podcast. All you got to do is search it on YouTube. You know Philly because it won us the Super Bowl. And all you got to do is the podcast.
Facts. Hell yeah. Check me out, bro. Join the family. I think I'm at like 530 right now. Well, before I got on here, so you know what I'm saying? We trying to grow it. It's growing quick. I appreciate everybody, man.
And this is the stuff right here. Right here is the thing. I don't know what you watched, Ant. Whatever your name is at this point, I don't care. But my guy, Lord Brunson, Philly 500. I've said it. I know a lot of Eagles content creators that came in here and said, bro, we do not like the Cowboys, but shout out to Dak. Hope he gets a speedy recovery because at the end of the day, nobody likes injuries, no matter how bad I hate your team. But you guys coming here talking about some hope Carson Wentz breaks his leg soon. This is the reasons why it did hurt coming out of my mouth. Me being sympathetic for a Cowboy, but at the end of the day, I go off my own morals and I don't wish injury on nobody. So take what you want.
That karma's real. That's all. Hey, whatever you say. And like I said, when it happened, I felt terrible for Dak Prescott. I feel horrible for Dak Prescott. He's a man. He has a family to feed. You know what I'm saying? But I do not feel bad for not one Cowboy fan. So all those excuses y'all gonna give me about y'all losing, y'all can write them down and make a poem out of them because I ain't listening either way. You know what I'm saying? So. But yeah, I hope Dak gets healthy very soon, and I hope he gets paid by a good team that cares about him.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're gonna have a decision over there in Jerry World. But like I said, as you see what's up top, Eagles, Giants, must-win game. I believe so. We talked about it earlier, but we got a whole different 143 in here. So
Yeah, no, the
before we
Eagles,
talk
man.
about that, well, what's your take on this game? Like, give me your feeling after this game. It's probably not going to be too high, but give me your feeling after this game, both scenarios.
All right, yeah, like if we win this game, if we win this game in convincing fashion, it'll definitely say something to me about our offensive line. I'm looking to have the same offensive line as last game and for them to improve. Namely, Jamon Brown, if he's going to be in there. If he's not, awesome. But if it's Matt Pryor, I just want to see our offensive line improve. If you look at from week 1 when we got demolished by that D line in Washington, we got better over the weeks, and that's because we had the same cast for like 1 or 2 weeks, and we've been mixing matching since then. So I just want to see a consistent team. So if we win and we're a consistent team, no injuries, we're going with the same team next week, I'll be excited, to be honest with you. You know, I think it'll give our team the confidence that it needs. If we lose, we got to make some decisions. I'm not one to say, you know, the season's over, time to start, you know, the ship is sinking, but we got to start making some decisions, and it might be personnel and it might be, you know, coaching decisions. But if we lose, there's going to be some people that have to get looked at. That's just my opinion.
I co-sign the exact way you feel as if we win. And I'm going to co-sign the same way you feel. I would feel the same way as if we lose. I'm going to add this. I've been a guy who says Jeff Lurie comes off as a guy to me who really won't fire somebody in the middle of the season. Now, we did see him get rid of Chip Kelly, but he had to get pushed that far from arguing to just getting rid of everybody on our team. And he still didn't get rid of him until week 13. So I think Jeff Lurie is going to give Howie, Doug, Schwartz all the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'm not saying Doug's the hottest seat. I think Doug's seat is the coldest.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really see him going somewhere. I think, if anything, they're going to force him to get some type of offensive mind with him. That's probably, to me, the worst case scenario. I don't see Doug leaving. However, Howie, maybe. Jim, maybe. Even though I think Jim can do things right, I think, again, he doesn't adjust. If he goes in with the right game plan, the D look right. He don't. We in for a long day. We lose this game, that can make me change my Jeff Lurie is going to be a nice guy mindset, because this will be bad. It will be really bad. But real quick, shout out to the guy who said Jalen Super Gadget Hurts. He said, Mike, what position do you want me to play this week? Kicker, safety, outside corner, linebacker, and O-line. So my guy Jalen Hurts is the do-it-all gadget player. If this was true, I definitely want him to play some linebacker, because he does look like a guy who can hit. If he could just jump in there and play really good.
If I'm being honest, I'm a Penn State fan, right? I've never really watched any of Jalen Hurts, to be honest with you, in college. Like, I've seen, you know, here and there highlights, and I've seen games here and there, but that boy got some spring in his step. I didn't know he had shakes like that. Like, he juked some people out their shoes. I didn't know he could move like that. I'm not gonna lie. I think Alex Singleton is a slept on linebacker, man. That boy could pop.
Hey, sorry, Nathan Gary. I know you're trying to make your case for being good, but let me say this. I didn't get to watch the film back yet, but I love what Alex Singleton was able to do on the downhill plays, the way he attacks the run game. And when I look at Alex Singleton, number 49, he looks like a little guy, but he's been running downhill, hitting the running back, getting into the right gaps. This is what I saw on during the game. I want to break down the tape a little bit more, but I think they were saying I forgot where I was watching it, but he played 90% of the snaps, and he had a really strong game against the Ravens. So I want to look into that more. Sorry, Nathan Gary.
Yeah, he had like 9 combined tackles, I believe. But yeah, that boy could hit. When you see him hit, it's perfect form tackles, and he just pops these dudes, man. It's kind of crazy, to be honest.
Shout out to my guy Tone DeShields II with the $4.99 super chat. He said, "What's good, Mike? Great live stream. Endurance, my brother." Hey, yeah, listen, I thought we were gonna get on here for a solid 30 to 45, and early around 9 o'clock, there really wasn't nobody in it. I'm thinking, yeah, well, I don't normally do streams at this time. It jumped up to a quick $1.44. we gonna rock out a little bit more. But shout out to my guy for the super chat, and definitely a new content creator right here. He's starting to do Eagles stuff.
Hey,
He just got over 100 subscribers. I don't know when he did it, but I saw today when I started to watch his video. I watched your Eagles. I watched the Carson Wentz one where you were hyping him up, the rumbling, bumbling, stumbling run. Shout out to my guy doing it big. I think it's called Chalk It Up. I'm horrible with names. As Simone Stanley. For half the live stream, I was supporting it. Simone with sports or with I forgot the in it, so I don't know. I was getting on me with it, but shout out to my guy Tone the Shields.
Yeah, it's funny because I think people mix me and you up a lot sometimes. Like if I'm in somebody else's live stream, it'll be like, yeah, I'm here with Philly Talk Podcast. Not Philly. You know, I feel you though. It's a little bit messed up.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah, I agree. He said I've never been watching Tua and Hurts. I've been watching Tua and Hurts for years. Never would have thought one of them will become an Eagle. Hey, listen, like I said, my guy is an Eagle, so I'm going to support him because once you rock this bird, I'm going to rock with you. You know what I mean? Unless you're, sorry, Nathan Gary, unless you Nathan Gary. You are.
Yeah, I don't know about Nathan Gary, man. I still don't understand how he's out on the field, man. And then, did you watch Jim Short's press conference today?
No, I didn't. I only got I didn't get I saw Carson's only today. I've been crazy beat. That's why I didn't get to put out my video today. That's why I'm doing this.
Jim is just, he said, what did he say? What did he say? He said something and I was just like, what are you yeah, you definitely got to watch it. Cause I was just like, what are you talking about, Jim? Just don't even show up at this point. Cause he's just saying whatever. Oh, this is what he said. So they were asking him about Nathan Gary and like these young dudes. And they were just like, did you have anything to do with Casey Toohill getting cut? And he was like, oh, that's good try. I'm not talking about personnel decisions. Like, what do you mean, good try? Like, yeah. And then he's like, so does that mean you had nothing to do with it? He's like, I didn't say that. I said that, good try. Like,
yeah, well, see, there's the whole thing. It's like, it's probably, that just makes me feel more it was Howie, but Howie's like, yo, keep giving hints that I'm doing this stuff. I'm going to get you.
I'm going to get you
that's scary. That's scary because listen, I want Howie to do his stuff, but listen, you gotta let the coaches coach. Simple and plain. It gets a little bit it gets too much of a tug of war, and it trickles down to the field, and that's what brings out the inconsistencies. Because Jim Schwartz calls defenses differently because he's not free roaming. Same with Doug. Maybe Howie called him and told him to do an RPO. I'm just kidding, but I don't know. It's just too many unknowns because at the end of the day, Jeff Lurie can't make a great decision because it's like, well, Howie did this. Well, Doug did this. They all got to be in their own lanes and whatever comes out good comes out good. Maybe Howie just wants more of an scapegoat because he doesn't have that Joe Douglas for personnel to fall back on. I don't know. At this point, everybody got to get looked at if we lose to the Giants. I think we're not losing. Shout out to Genetic Freak. He said, I hate to say, we talked about this earlier, my guy. I hate to say it, but Miles Sanders is Deshaun Jackson. I won't go that far, but I get what you're trying to say. Of running backs, he's dynamic, a playmaker, but he's not durable. Can't be counted on as a lead back of the future. I can't say no yet, but I can't say he's just straight injury prone yet. But it's scary. It's scary because, man, the dude had back-to-back 80-plus yard runs. Like, come on, man.
I'm more worried about his fumbling, to be honest, than his injuries. Because even in he only played one full season in Penn State. Like I said, I'm a Penn State fan, so I watched a lot of him. But even in Penn State, he played 1 year, full year, but he had issues with fumbling. I'm not going to say he was fumble prone, but he definitely had issues with fumbling, and I'm starting to see those issues kind of creep back in. So I'm more worried about that than his injuries.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Big Pain with the $4.99 super chat. He said, I heard somebody say Wentz didn't do good with his starters last year. Did people forget our drops last year? If Wentz was on New Orleans, Kansas City, Seattle, Cleveland, he'd be an MVP. Talking about with his weapons beside him. Yeah, listen, that's my biggest fear is for something going wrong with knock on wood, injury or something. Carson leave here, get a system, and he's just going to take off because I believe in the talent. I believe that it's there. Just a lot of stuff. Simone Stanley said, "Who's getting fired?" If
I think who was I on with? And they kind of, I think it might have been Fresh. It might have been Philly Fresh, and he asked me to kind of go, 3-1. But like, if I had to say, I would probably say right now it's Jim Schwartz, then Howie, and then maybe Doug all the way at the bottom, and that's like a big. But yeah, I think it would be those are the only three people you can't fire. You can't fire Jeffrey Lurie. So
yeah, and so he was disagreeing with Genetic Freak. Here's my thing. Last year, Miles did, he was healthy. He was doing what he had to do. He did start getting nicked up at the end of the season. It was like miss a game, come back, miss a game, come back. It was nothing long term. And what I can say is this. When he hurt his knee, I thought it was going to be a 6 weeks or a 3 weeks or a 4 weeks. It's looking like it can only be 1 week, maybe 2. So I want to see how he bounces back from this. And I grade a lot of people on a curve because of the no preseason. Now, people can say, well, look at Kansas City. Well, look at Tennessee. Well, look at these people. Everybody's different. Have you ever had a guy come to your job and you had to train him and he learned in 1 day? The next guy learns in 3 days. But guess what? A year later, the guy who learned in 3 days is better than the guy who learned in 1 day. So everybody has their own things. I mean, I was trying to think of a Cowboy. Let's go with Zeke Elliott because I just wanted to throw some shade at the Cowboys for that guy coming here. I mean, Zeke Elliott probably didn't learn how to walk until he was 9, and now he's a running back. He's good. What I'm trying to say is everybody has their own thing. And teams like the Saints and the Chiefs and the Ravens brought 20 or 19 of their 22 starters, where the Eagles are bringing back. There's a lot of new pieces. So a lot of things that went into it. And I think you just got to grade on the curve until it gets to week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The curve slowly dips off. So injuries, stuff. I mean, look at our guys. Saquon's hurt again for the whole season. There's a lot of injuries. Again, let's just say this. Shout out to Dak Prescott because there's one thing that Dak Prescott is one of the best at, and that's being there for his team. Now, look, freak accident, done for the season, but it so happens in the season where there's no preseason, there's no off season. So maybe that has something to do with it, maybe not. Maybe it was just a bad luck. But you're seeing guys who don't miss time get hurt. So you got to grade a lot of things on the curve. That's all I'm saying.
I think we've been relatively lucky, if we're being honest. Like, we haven't lost, anybody long term other than people that we've lost early in the year. A lot of these people are just 1 to 2 weeks. So, fingers crossed that we don't lose, like you said, anybody too long or, especially Wentz. So, but we just got to keep on,
Keep on keeping on. Shout out to Genetic Freak. He said, my bad. I just turned in just now. Love the show. You already know. Like I said, it stuck. It sucks when I know I got my guys who always support me. And I'm like, we about to get off in 10 minutes. And then people get on. What's going on? What you guys? I'm like, oh, man. Yeah, I have to catch us on the replay. But yeah, man. So Simone asked, are we going to get anybody at the deadline? I believe Philly the podcast did talk about that right before you kind of got on.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be grabbing anybody unless it's somebody defensively. Maybe is somebody that I can see like I said, that Houston Texans are kind of in sell now mode. So if they have like a good linebacker or maybe a lineman even, yeah, I could see that happening. But I really don't, in my heart of hearts, see us getting anybody sexy, at least any sexy picks.
Yeah. When it comes down to me, it comes down to these games. I honestly think Howie does feel some type of way about his job. He thinks he can feel the seat getting warmed up. And so with that being said, I really think that he's going to watch closely what happens the next 3 games. If we beat the Giants, we beat the Cowboys, we beat the Giants, we go into the bye week, and right there is the trade deadline. You got a team who's willing to sell an O lineman, a linebacker, a cornerback, depending on Miles Sanders, a running back, depending on our receiving core, a receiver. I don't think you go receiver, running back, all that first. You still want to go linebacker, O-line, or corner. but it all depends on what's open. Like we can say we want a lineman, but if there's no lineman out there, you can't just be like, you gotta give me one. You know, you can't hold them up at gunpoint. So it comes down to what is available. But I really think that Howie is going to try to grab something if we win the next 3 games. We lose 2 of them, lose 1 of them, meaning Thursday. That changes the whole mindset, because who's trying to get a nice free agent at 1-6-1? You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah, it just becomes kind of like a dead season at that point. I mean, I don't even know who we would get if we did get a top pick, but it sucks because this is going to be the last season we see a lot of these players on the Eagles. So it kind of does suck. It's going to be bittersweet, at the end of this year, because we're going to lose a lot of these guys.
Facts. Shout out to infamous 2K. I did give you that wrench, my guy. You are always in the building, so shout out to you. He's Lano Thomas said when Jeffrey and Djax and Rager comes back, maybe the Eagles going to bench Fulgham. I'd rather have Fulgham, Djax outside and Rager in the slot. Listen, when they come back, there's no way that we can cut TF13 snaps in half. You can have snaps where he's not on the field because every receiver needs a break once in a while, but that's the only time he should not be on the field. It's to catch a breather, something like that. Because I think when it comes to X position, TF13 got to be the guy. Like, again, when Alshon and Deshaun are back, I think they're going to play part in this offense. Who knows for how long? But I still see it like I am so excited for the future of this team because TF13 at the X, Jalen Rager at the Y, Greg Ward Jr. in the slot, who has become a better route runner than he was in a while, and Dallas Goedert as our tight end, depending on what happens with Ertz. That is a solid future. Don't forget Miles Sanders and a healthy offensive line, but that's a solid future. But I can hear my son coming back up. I'm going to take this real quick, and then we're going to say our final thoughts and bounce, but go ahead and read the comments.
Well, I can't read comments, but what's good, y'all? Yes, sir. But yeah, while I got y'all, you know what I'm saying? Come check your boy out. Come Philly, the podcast, Philly Fresco. Be sure to check me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for this Eagles Giants game. Let's blow these boys out. You heard me? Feels weird because I know there's mad people on here.
No, you're good.
I have too much fun when the camera's only on me, man. You know.
And actually, you can't see the comments right now at all, right?
Nah. So I'll just shout myself out, you know.
Look in the top right corner. You should see where it says private and the top right corner of wherever you're using on. It should say private chat. Like there's. You're using your phone or what? What do you use?
I got my phone, but it doesn't give me your chat.
If you turn it that way, you can see.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah. So now he just accidentally got out. But shout out to Kevin Thomas. He said, "My bro, what'd you say before? Maybe I missed you. I missed you." But yeah, definitely an offensive lineman would be nice. Appreciate you for always being through. You know what I mean? You think Fletcher Cox will be using trade? He's that guy who we really think about. We lose the next 1 or 2 or 3 games, you think about it. We win it, it gets it tougher. Back.
Yeah, my bad on that.
Good. And see, you know what my guy Fresh does because he uses his phone and tablet too? He turns it sideways because it's a better view, and then he just gets like another phone and he just goes on and watches it though too. But that's why you do it that way. You get to see the comments too.
I ain't even thinking that. I would have just pulled out my iPad.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, shout out to Simone. Listen, if you talk about trading Hurt, she comes for you quickly on that. I mean, that's her guy.
Yeah, I know she loves her some Hurts.
Solo Bolo will come for you too. But yeah, so we're going to get some closing thoughts. So this stream was pretty much not like the whole preview. We really didn't get too deep into the Giants. We got into like what could happen to the state of the Eagles, win or lose to the Giants. Talked about some of the injuries that we got to go through, which we always go through injuries, but this is the most because you don't have a guy like Miles Sanders or Zach Ertz to help the bad O-line or the wide receiver core at times. You also don't have Dallas Goedert because the one game we didn't have Zach Ertz, we had Dallas Goedert and vice versa. I keep reading Jalen's super gadget.
People crazy.
But shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, we still got a $124. No matter how many times I say we're gonna get up out of here. Give me your closing thoughts on the state of the Eagles and what you want to see going into this Giants game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now, I just want to see a full 4 quarters of football. That's really my biggest thing. I just want to see some consistency out of this team. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully get out with a W. Obviously, that's the biggest thing. But if we could just play, full 4 quarters, that offensive line, get some good blocking going, get some progression from last week. Maybe Jamon Brown just, doesn't show up to the stadium. That would be awesome. And that's really all I want to see. I want to see some progression at this point. That's really all I can ask for, to be honest. But obviously I want to see a W too. That's a must right there.
Oh yeah. That is what we need 100%. But shout out to Jennifer Mills. She said, "What do you think about their stats right now?" Whose stats are we talking about? The Eagles' offense in general, the record, a certain individual player. More specifically, who and what are we talking about when it comes to stats? And Simone said, "Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote."
That's not till November 3rd.
No, I think she's talking about people are talking about trade Hurts. So she wants to know what the chat is feeling before we get off on yes for no and for yes for yes. Why for yes and for no? See, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to sleep.
I'm definitely not trying to trade Hurts. Not this quick, at least. I mean, unless they're going to give us something crazy.
Yeah. So, again, this is where I wasn't for the pick because I saw what was on the board and a linebacker, a cornerback, and a receiver. But now that we got him, I mean, it would have to be something that can come on the team and start right now. I would maybe say yes, but it's kind of hard.
If they were like, all right, we're about to get Kenneth Murray, we about to just redo the second round.
Oh yeah, then I gotta let him go. I'm sorry, I gotta let him go.
Yeah,
I gotta be a Y then. I gotta be a Y. But look, so far, let's go. We got. I'm not gonna pull them all up, but we got Y, N, Y, N, Y, 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 N. Not this season. And then she said, "Y'all just saying why to make me sad." Yeah, you know they're gonna troll a little bit. But Jennifer Mills said, "General Eagles. The stats ain't great. I mean, we're the middle of the pack on defense, middle of the pack on offense. But when you look at it in context, the Eagles played a lot of the top 10 defenses. The Ravens in the top 5, Steelers in the top 5, Rams in the top 10. Washington was a pretty good defense week 1, not so much now." So you put all that in context, I believe you're going to get to see what the Eagles offense is able to do against this, the second half of this, which is going to be the Cowboys, Giants, Browns, which are the bottom 10. So I think we're trending in the right direction. What we were able to do against the Steelers and the Ravens shows the potential on this team. However, we got to stop the inconsistencies on both offense and defense. I mean, the end of the game, the offense looked great, scoring 22 on the top 10 defense. The defense looked great, stopping Lamar Jackson and the Ravens 2 or 3 times to give the ball back to the offense. Then you go back to the Washington game where we couldn't stop Dwayne Haskins. So it's a lot of inconsistency. If the Eagles come out and put their best foot forward, we can win some games. And it all starts with that, and we'll slowly get healthy. And I like it. But like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We do live streams throughout the week, regularly scheduled programs. That's what I like to call it. We do live play-by-plays on Sunday for people who just want to hear me cry and scream and or can't watch the game. And lastly, smash that like button. It's free, it's easy, it's simple. It's the little thumbs up button. It helps my content grow. And definitely check out my guy, Philly the podcast.
Definitely.
All you got to do is search it in the search bar. Watch a video. If you like it, there's a red button. If you don't like it, well, watch another one and try it again.
Start liking it, if you don't like it soon, that's all we want.
But, listen, when it comes to the Y for yes and N for no, real quick, it comes to I probably wouldn't get rid of him this year unless you're offering me an offensive lineman, a linebacker, or a cornerback. But it can't just be any. It got to be a starting corner, a starting linebacker, or a starting offensive lineman. If you're not offering me that, I'm going to keep Jalen Hurts for the what ifs.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, you never know what's going to happen. Nate Sudfeld hasn't seen the field in forever. So, I mean, we'll see. And like you said, we might not. Hey, I appreciate that, Infamous. We might not love the pick, but at the end of the day, you have to get the value out of every pick. So if that means holding on to him for a year or for, who knows? Something might happen that somebody gets really desperate for a quarterback, and we can really vulture something off of him. But if you're not giving us like a first round pick, second. Yeah, don't talk to me. I'm good.
Yeah. And listen, also, I got to say no why Simone Stanley's here. But as soon as she gets out of the chat, I'm going to be like, yes, like that. Get it.
Capital Y.
Capital Y. Hey, but shout out to John Hightower in here. He said, I've been training with Aguilar lately. I'll be good to go. He had a TD last time Eagles Giants played in Philly on Thursday night. So.
See, that's what I need to get there. That's when I know I really made it. When I got the whole team having their burner accounts commenting on my YouTube. That's
Or somebody making a diss video on you.
Has somebody done a diss video about you?
Oh yeah. When I was at 2K and I did my first stream with LB, Cop Pizzle came at me.
I don't even know who that is. So hey, that goes to show you that.
Yeah, but it's all
that's that Giants fan, right? That's the Giants.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, hey, I'll be looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Yeah. But that's it. Like I said, I gave a little something back, but I'm not gonna be arguing on camera with grown men. Like you do. If you want to talk about the Giants and Eagles, we could do it. Which I should have hit him up to collab for this game, but he's wild. But it's off that come on, internet beef, for real. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We still got a $121 in here. I'm trying to make y'all go to sleep. I'm trying to bore y'all guys. I'm tired. But so Jennifer said, "Can we play amongst us?" Hey, that's the thing. We got to find that chemistry, that groove. It's hard to when it's a revolving door because of injuries. But I think we've seen the best of the Eagles the last 2 weeks, so we can only build off that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the best is yet to come. I'm being a little bit of a homer saying that, but I think we'll pull it together, and hopefully we can just kind of stay around 500 until we get totally totally healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Superhero 18 said, "LOI just randomly came in here through autoplay." Wow. Hey, it is what it is, man. We've been on here for an hour and 43 strong. We talked about the must-win aspect of this week. It's a short week. We're coming off one of our best games in Baltimore when it comes down to the offense performing, and we found that in us once we were down to the bare minimum. I'm talking 2 starters left, Kelsey and Wentz, and we were able to drop 22 in the fourth quarter. 2-point conversion didn't get us in. Disgusting. But at the end of the day, that's what I say when it's at the end of the day. And it is at my end of the day. So appreciate my guy, Philly Fresco, coming in, collabing with me on this late night. This is not my thing. It's 11 o'clock. I'm normally, the latest I normally stream is 7:30, and then I get off around 9:30, you know what I mean? all that good stuff. You know, I'm old.
Yeah, we older. We got to get our beauty rest. You know what I'm saying? We don't just wake up these amazingly handsome content creators. You know, it takes time, man. It takes time.
But since he came in on autoplay, I'm gonna read his comment from my guy, Superhero 18. Even though he's my guy anyways, I thought Carson was super strong in the second half. If he can keep playing like that, and our defense can step up, we have a shot against the Giants. Actually, I thought you were going to say if he's playing like that and our defense steps up, we have a shot against a good team, because that's what kind of propelled us against a good team to lose by a 2-point conversion. If we play like that, then we should be able to blow out the Giants. But again, you know how the Eagles-Giants matchups normally are. Last year, struggling team. Carson put the team on his back. We squeaked out of it. Hey, got to get this dub. We're talking the crazy. We're going to be talking a lot of craziness Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the worst thing is, if we lose on Thursday, we don't play for a long time. So you just got to sit, marinate on that L, and
sulk.
Giant fans, Cowboy fans will not let us go. And so we got to do what we got to do. Oh, so you're a Green Bay fan. That's interesting.
That is random.
Mike, I got a guy that you should check out on Alabama wide receiver, Devontae Smith. Please check his highlight. Yeah, I know a little bit about him. I'm definitely going to look into it more.
I like Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is that dude.
He is. Same with Waddle. I like Waddle too, though. Solo Bo said, I'm awake. Big facts. Oh, man. I'm going to sleep soon. My guy right here, I'm awake. Are you? You just came at the wrong time. But Hakeem Butler is going to be a monster next season. Hey, there were some people like my guy, Be More Philly, who liked him out of the draft. So I didn't know nothing about him.
He got speed. Big boy got speed. I'll give him that.
Coming from a Giants fan, he said, don't worry, the Giants will cure you. Hopefully. But with that being said, this is my guy, Philly Fresco. Go check him out at Philly the podcast. You see his jersey. He's ready to get rid of Ertz because he got a Selleck jersey up there. I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast. This is the channel your eyes are on. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. And if you're not new and you're in here, which is still $1.18, smash that like button. I normally try to check it real quick before I get off, but hopefully we close to that big 100. You know what I mean? Because that makes me feel like, you know what I mean? I did a decent job. And again, this ain't nothing without you guys. You guys always come in here and offer the great hot takes. Shout out to my guy, Rock the Artist, Hold My Nuggets, David, and Tommy. He says, subbing yo, Philly. There you go. Sub to Philly. Tommy. Like I said, Eagle content creators stay together. There's never no animosity up in here. Shout out to my guy, Vic 3, a channel member. John Hightower said, stat prediction for me Thursday. You're going to get a touchdown. You're going to have 97 yards and a touchdown, 3 short of 100. Give him your stat prediction before we get up out of here.
For Hightower?
Yeah.
5 catches, 98 yards, 2 TDs.
Whew. He added 1 more yard on mine and another whole tug. I'll take my stat Dante. I know I messed it up. I didn't get to say it with the same flavor, but shout out to you for coming in as a Giants fan. Should be a good one. I will be doing a live play-by-play. So for those in here who want to hear, I know some people like to watch the game and not be disrupted. They want to do that woo-saw during the game, but I do a live play-by-play. I have the live score up top. I got the 2 quarterbacks there, so it's going to be my guy Carson, my guy Danny Fumbles. Hopefully we get the Danny Fumbles that we need. But there we go. Until next time, you guys know what time it is. My wife is going to kill me when I come downstairs.